464 yards on the season, an rushing average of 8.4 yards per carry. And that's not all of it. Wes Steed, the quarterback for Homewood, the senior quarterback, comes into the game tonight with 215 yards passing. He's 13 for 18 in the passing department, a magnificent 722 passing completion percentage. But they'll face a tough squad from Erwin tonight, and I'm sure Erwin is ready for Homewood.
That's right. Coach Larry Ferris, starting his 7th season as the head coach of the Eagles, said all week long, gang tackling and tough defense is the hope of the Eagles. He's counting on players like Curtis Freeman and Dabney Hunter to put a stop or at least slow down Robert Davis. They don't really think they can stop him completely. They just hope to slow him down and give the Erwin offense a chance. Erwin's offense much better than last year when they lost twice to the Patriots. Jason Horn currently averaging better than 100 yards a game, and they're hoping to give that Erwin offense a chance to compete with a well-rounded, versatile Homewood offense.
Well, it ought to be a real exciting game, and there was some media coverage earlier in the week with a newspaper article about Mr. Davis, as the Erwin coaching squad likes to call him. Homewood comes into this game fresh off a 42-14 lopsided victory over Thompson, and it was the third such lopsided victory of this season. Erwin comes into this game with a close 24-21 win over a strong Cullman County team from last week.
That's right, and that win was on the road in Cullman. So this is a seasoned Erwin squad, and it promises to be a very good matchup.
Well, the teams are on the field. We're going to pause for just a moment and take this time out from one of our sponsors. We'll remind you, you're watching Homewood Patriot football.
South Trust Bank is pleased to support Homewood High School athletics and wishes the Patriot football team a winning season. Whether it's community service or quality service at one of our convenient offices, South Trust Bank is working harder for you.
Well, back at Erwin at Wilson Bowman Field, looks like a good crowd on the far sidelines, and Homewood brought quite a crowd with them tonight. Both bands are here and the teams are on the field. The field looks like it's just in magnificent condition.
It was a great night for football. Temperatures starting out in the upper 70s, expecting them to go down to about the mid to upper 60s before the game is through tonight.
Well, the cheerleading squad once again has done a good job of putting the signs up along the edge. Not sure what we're seeing here. Looks like it might be a stunt towards an onside kick, but Erwin is likely to spread out and kick the ball normally. We'll have to see. We're getting ready to get underway, and there they go. Lots of good attention from the local press here. This should be a humdinger of a game, and we're glad to bring it to you. A low, squiggly kick. It's going to come down to Elvin Skipper, but whistles are blown before the play begins.
So they're going to bring it back, possibly an offsides.
You know, Fred, our indication from the sideline is it's a possibility that we have not had the national anthem, and the officials allowed the kickoff to get underway prior to the national anthem. So I believe we're going to pause here. The announcer has asked the crowd to rise, and we will pause for this playing of the national anthem. now we're set to get underway, Fred Morris. While we've got just a moment, I'm sure there are some offensive and defensive keys to the game on both sides of the football tonight.
There definitely are. As we were talking to Coach Ferris before the game, he again talked about Curtis Freeman, his nose tackle, Jason Zarger, a starter for the first time this year at center, and also Eric Moulton at the fullback position. Those are two key positions in the Homewood offense. Jason Zarger at center and Eric Moulton in the fullback position, key blocking places. And Coach Ferris feels that Curtis Freeman could have an impact on this game if he plays well against Jason.
It'll be an interesting matchup, no doubt. As you saw just a moment ago, Homewood typically starts its lineup to receive a kickoff with its three receivers deep in one line. Now they spread out with Elvin Skipper away, Brian Greer to the near side, and Robert Davis in the middle. It'll come down to Brian Greer, who backpedals to the 4 and takes it in from that point. Brian looking for the wall along the sideline, got a wall at the 35, but brought down out of bounds at about the 38-yard line. Fine return by Brian Greer, number 11, senior wide receiver. The stop on the play that time by number 80, Brian Burns. Burns, the senior tight end and linebacker for the Erwin Eagles. We'll try to set the offensive alignment for Homewood for you, but you probably know the starting lineup at this point in time. A 33-yard return, Fred, for Brian Greer, so Homewood in business now, 1st and 10 from their own 37. Here's the call from quarterback Wes Steed. Give on the fake to Robert Davis. Steed around the left end, and West run out of bounds across the 40-yard line and about the 41. Dabney Hunter, number 12, the cornerback, the senior cornerback for the Erwin Eagles, on the stop that time. It'll bring up 2nd and about 7, a long 6 perhaps, after a gain of 4.
Coach Gann that time using Robert Davis as a decoy on the very first play. Patrick Renda, the right end for the Erwin Eagles, took the fake completely, and only a good tackle by Hunter, and Jason Horn kept Steed from gaining big yardage.
Here's Wes Steed on the call now with 2nd and 7 from his own 41. The give is to Davis. Davis across right tackle, across the 45 out to about the 47. You know, Patrick Renda, you mentioned Patrick Renda, mentioned in one of the Birmingham local papers this week as one of the keys to the game, along with their fullback, Horn, Jason Horn, who we'll probably see a lot of tonight.
That's right. The danger for Coach Ferris and his defensive coaches right now, keying so much on Robert Davis, allowing Wes Steed, Eric Moulton, Brian Greer, and Alexander Adamson to hurt them with the pass and the keepers.
First possession play of the night for Homewood. Here's the keeper by Steed, met head on at about the 48 or the 47. It'll be close. Tough tackle that time by Roderick Rutledge, number 85 for the Eagles. The officials are going to call timeout and make sure they take a correct look at it. We'll hold timeout to measure the gain here. That time everybody was looking for Robert Davis up the middle, but Erwin pursued very, very well.
They're a fired-up bunch. A seasoned defense also from the team Homewood beat twice last year. Here's the spot.
And there you have it. 1st and 10, Patriots, the first of many for the night, we hope.
Again, Homewood successful using Davis as a decoy, also running Davis. How long Erwin can key on Davis and let the other guys run free or hurt them is going to be a key to this game.
Okay, 1st and 10. The line of scrimmage about the 47 and a half now. The Patriots just shy of midfield. Here's Steed to look to throw over the middle into and out of the hands of number 85, Roderick Rutledge. Rutledge, a deep linebacker on the play, but the pass intended for Alexander Adamson, incomplete. One more foot of height on the pass, and Zan Adamson was gone.
Absolutely, but Roderick Rutledge, that one more foot of height would have put it up there around 8.5 foot. That gentleman, as a sophomore, is 6'6". His weight hasn't caught up with his height yet. Coach Ferris feels in another year or so, already he's getting letters from colleges. He is a college prospect in basketball, but they're excited about his football ability in the next 2 years.
2nd and 10 after the incomplete pass. Steed looks on the give to Davis. Davis around right in. Lots of running room. Davis, will he break it? Nobody can catch him, I don't believe. Yes, sir. Touchdown, Homewood. A magnificent 52-yard run from scrimmage for Robert Davis. That's why they put the Mister in front of his name.
Containment around the right side, nowhere to be found. Davis dipped inside, cut it outside, and used outstanding speed, probably the best speed in the state at running back, to go 53 yards.
Here's the extra point attempt. Eric Rebels will snap it back. Brian Greer to hold it. Here's Steed's kick. The kick is good. Time is out on the field with 10:13 remaining in the first quarter. Homewood 7 and Erwin nothing. We have this on instant replay, so let's take a look at that magnificent 52-yard end-around run from Robert Davis. Blocking on the outside. The rest done by Robert.
The key to the play, Eric Moulton putting his man on the ground. Robert dipped in, dipped out. Eric put his man on the ground. 53 yards later, Homewood's in the lead.
Dabney Hunter and Jason Horn back deep in the center and on the near side for Erwin. Looks like perhaps Brian White on the far side. Here's the kick from Wes Steed. Wes puts a toe into it, but it'll come down at about the 1. The tackle on the play, that was Keith Smith, the runner. I thought I saw Henry Walburn tackling as making the tackle on the play. Hard to see it down in that corner. We don't have as good an angle on it as we would like to have. But a 17-yard return for Keith Smith. And here's Erwin, first set of downs from scrimmage. They bring a man in motion, but send the fullback Horn right up the middle. Horn hit by Eric Rebels as he crosses the 21-yard line. Maybe a gain of 1. The line of scrimmage now the 22.
Erwin running the flex bone where you see the man in motion coming around, gives the linebacker something to think about. That time Jason Horn, the ball carrier. Eric Rebels getting the tackle for Homewood.
Erwin sends Russell Cross wide to the right. The fake through the middle to Horn. Long pass complete at the 47-yard line. That was Patrick Renda. We mentioned his name earlier, and we'll probably mention it again. Alexander Adamson defending, but Patrick Renda took it in over his right shoulder, and a big passing play for the Eagles.
Renda coming from the tight end position that time. Alexander Adamson with good coverage. Give Erwin credit. The quarterback held the ball to the last possible second till Renda broke free and put it right where it had to be.
Pat Worsham, the quarterback for Erwin, standing right in the pocket and throwing just as hard as he could. A 26-yard pass play. The line of scrimmage now, the Erwin 48. Here's the give to Horn right up the middle. Horn tackled by Brian Greer, brought down as he crosses into Patriot territory at about the 46-yard line. If you're just joining us, we have 8:45 remaining in the first period. Homewood scored on a 5-play drive that covered 63 yards, but capped by a 52-yard run from scrimmage by Robert Davis with 10:13 remaining in the first period. And now Erwin continues to grind out yardage. Call it 2nd and 5 from the Homewood 46. Here's Worsham. He looks to throw. The receiver had slipped down on the sideline, but no flag.
Patrick Renda that time slipping on the cut. Alexander Adamson again with the coverage. Pat Worsham doing a good job of faking that time and slowing the rush down. Those interior linemen, Dusty Smith, the rest of the guys, it's an interesting offense Erwin's running where the handoffs aren't always readily visible to the defensive linemen, so they have to just play a technique type defense and look for the ball.
Here's a critical possession play for the Eagles. Worsham on the give to Horn, met at the line of scrimmage, pushed back outside the 45. Stopped on the play by Stanley Lee, among others. A host of tacklers. I see Dusty Smith in the middle there too, meeting Jason Horn, their premier fullback, right as he got to the 45-yard line. So Erwin will punt. Homewood sends Davis back on the far side and Greer back on the near side. The kick is away. It's coming down on Brian Greer's side. Brian at about the 6 now. Looks for room along the sideline. It'll be tough going, though, and he's brought down short of the 20-yard line. The stop by Erwin, that time by Brian Burns and also Matt Daly. A 34-yard punt for the Eagles, so Homewood back in its own, deep in its own territory now, starting with a typically unusually deep 1st and 10 for Homewood.
And this is a big series for Erwin. If a series this early in the game could be called big, Homewood 7-0 already after a 53-yard run. Erwin has to bottle up the Homewood offense. To be down 14-0 to this Homewood team is very dangerous.
Here's Wes Steed on a keeper. Flags are flying. Could possibly be a holding penalty out on that right side. Fred, it looks like to me that the Homewood coaching squad, Homewood coaching staff is making use of Steed's capability to run to keep that Erwin defense off guard.
Well, with all the articles and the stories this week in the paper from the Erwin coaching staff and their concern about Robert Davis, it just makes sense to use a talent like Wes Steed that perhaps Erwin's not really taking as seriously as they should. Wes is an outstanding runner, quick and strong, as we see the penalty going against Homewood. Wes, an outstanding, almost like a linebacker playing quarterback. He'll put the shoulder down to get the extra yardage, and perhaps Erwin taking him for granted, and hopefully the Homewood coach is taking advantage of that.
Well, the line of scrimmage now will be the 9-yard line, following that half the distance to the goal 9-yard penalty for holding. So here's a look at Wes Steed as he faces 1st and about 18, 19. The give is to Robert Davis right up the middle. Hard yardage. But he's across the 10, maybe to the 13-yard line. Possibly a gain of about 4 on the play. Call it now the 13-yard line, bringing up 2nd and about 4. The stop for the Erwin Eagles that time by Curtis Freeman. Freeman, a senior nose guard. Freeman also mentioned in the media this week as a possible defensive key to the Erwin effort. Here's Homewood on 2nd down. The pitch is to Davis, blocking on the outside. Robert around and across the 20 to about the 21-yard line, maybe a few more yards. It was Jason Horn who plays both way. He's their premier fullback, but it was Horn on the stop after a gain of about 8 for Homewood. The line of scrimmage now the 21 as the Patriots try to grind it out, but this brings up 3rd and about 7, Fred.
Right, an example there of Erwin's defensive strategy for the evening. Swarming to the football that time, 5 Erwin players bringing Robert Davis down, and that's the strategy tonight. Erwin not possessing the team speed that Homewood does, and they have to rely on the swarming defense to try and slow down the Homewood offense.
Here's a possession play then at 3rd down. Steed to pass. He looks across the middle to Alexander Adamson, complete at the 30-yard line, and that's going to be enough for a 1st down. Ooh, right in the middle of heavy traffic. He zipped a pass to Alexander Adamson. Defending on the play was that 6'6" Roderick Rutledge, but this time it went right into Zan Adamson's hands, and it's a 1st down for the Patriots.
Well executed play that time. They ran him one receiver down the sideline, one in the flat, and brought Alexander Adamson back to the center of the field, and give Wes Steed credit for pulling up, zipping it back to the center, which is not easy going to your left.
A great pass play from Steed to Adamson, so that brings up 1st and 10. Homewood moving now from its own 33. No going up the middle for Eric Moulton. He ran head on into Jason Hennington, a linebacker, a senior linebacker for the Erwin Eagles. So maybe a gain of a yard. The line of scrimmage now about the 35 or just across the 35.
Key plays for Erwin's defense right now, giving up the 1st down after having Homewood bottled up deep in their own end. 2nd down and looks to be, 8.5. Big plays for Erwin, equally big plays for Homewood, as they'd like to put another one in the end zone in this 1st quarter.
4:34 now remaining in the 1st period as Wes Steed options with a pitch to Robert Davis. A well-timed pitch, but the play only made a couple of yards as Erwin is just swarming in pursuit at the corners, Fred.
Erwin's ready for the option. As Coach Fair said, a swarming defense is one of their strategies. and they do have some speed on the corners in Dabney Hunter and the other cornerback. That time, West Steed got past the first wave of defenders, got caught by the second, managed to make the pitch in heavy traffic. Robert Davis really had no chance on that play, though.
You can tell from up here the leather is popping tonight. It's some hard hitting on the field. That time Brian Burns was defending around that right side and stopped the play. Here's the give to Davis. Davis breaks it out across the middle. He could go again. This time he'll be dragged down, though, as he crosses the 35 down to about the 33-yard line. A big run for Robert Davis. Finally stopped by Dabney Hunter, their number 12. A big, big run for Robert Davis. We've got an instant replay on it, Fred. Let's take one more look at another run by Robert Davis across that right tackle slot.
Well-conceived play. Homewood hitting the corners with the options and the rollout passes, coming back off tackle. Watch the blocking on the interior line. They give him just a seam. He cuts it back, and he's off to the races. Two men have a shot at him, and one brings him down about the 35-yard line.
We've got timeout on the field right now for a water break. And so we're going to pause for just a second with 3:45 remaining in the first period. If you've just joined us, you've missed a heck of a ball game already. The score here from Wilson Bowman Field in Erwin is 7-0 Homewood, with the Patriots on the move. We'll be right back after this from one of our sponsors. You're watching Homewood Patriot Football.
It's Piggly Wiggly Food Stores for quality foods, friendly service, and fair prices. You'll find a wide selection of the freshest seasonal produce brought in daily, and the finest heavy Western USDA choice beef, and of course, plump, fresh-cut chickens never frozen. And Piggly Wiggly serves hot, fresh deli foods of the finest quality served up daily. The next best thing to home cooking. And Piggly Wiggly Food Stores are proud of our friendly people serving your needs in Mountain Brook, Homewood. It's Piggly Wiggly, the finest food stores around.
Back to live action from Erwin. Homewood with a 1st and 10. Line of scrimmage, the Erwin 33. West Steed looks. He pumps once to throw. Pursued. Underthrown wisely at about the 20-yard line, because Dabney Hunter was the defender, and he was right in front of the intended receiver, Brian Greer.
Excellent defensive coverage that time by Dabney Hunter on Brian Greer. The only place the ball could be thrown, Eric Steed put it right there, and Hunter made a good play to try and knock it down.
Well, in case you can't hear it, Erwin brought their band tonight. We're sitting in an open press box, and it is loud. Here's 2nd and 10 for Homewood. Again, the line of scrimmage about the 32 or 33-yard line. It's the give to Robert Davis. He's looking at left tackle, tries to dodge around the end, still on his feet. Using his balance to get across the 30 and down to about the 28-yard line. A few minutes ago, I was going to tell you that Davis has 6 carries for 102 yards on the night, but we'll have to add him up again. 7 for 107 now. The clock moving at 2:55 remaining in the first period. Another critical 3rd down possession play.
Another key 3rd down, and at this point, Erwin's not really sure what's coming. Is it a rollout? Is it Robert Davis again, or is it Eric Moulton?
Steed on the rollout. He looks to throw wide open to Alexander Adamson across the 20 to about the 18. Should be enough for another Homewood 1st down. The 4th Homewood 1st down, Fred, as they exercise some great ball control.
Just too many weapons at this point for the Erwin defense. Alexander Adamson that time wide open as the linebackers concentrate on Moulton and Robert Davis, also of West Steed. As I said, they didn't know what was coming their way, and Alexander Adamson got the 1st down.
Well, Bobby Peoples was the free safety defending that time, but it was enough for an Alexander Adamson 1st down. Here's Homewood 1st and 10. At the pitch to Robert Davis. Looks for a block on the corner. Still moving down to about the 6 or 7 yard line as the angles get tough to see. Looks like maybe less than a yard for 1st down. Davis was finally stopped that time by Bobby Peebles, the free safety, the junior from Erwin. The line of scrimmage is the 8.5 yard line now after that gain of 9. So 2nd and 1 is the call. Here's Homewood from inside the 10. Davis gets the give across the 5 down to about the 3 maybe. Plenty of room for the first down, so that'll bring up for the Patriots first and goal from inside the 5-yard line. The stop that time made by number 62, Chris Crary, and also number 85, Roderick Rutledge. Line of scrimmage to 3. First and goal.
At this point, Barry, the Erwin defense they're on their heels, and Homewood's offense they're just steamrolling the line of scrimmage and taking it to the Eagles right now.
The offensive line is really blowing out, and you can tell looking at it on the TV screen. Here's Robert Davis. He's across the goal line. They signal a touchdown, so put another 6 on the board for the Patriots. 52 seconds remaining in the first quarter. A 91-yard drive with some hard running for that touchdown. They started on their own 9-yard line. We'll try the extra point here. Eric Rebels will snap it back. Brian Greer, the holder, and Wes Steed will kick it. As Homewood darts out to a first quarter 13-0 lead, and we're going to try to make it 14. Blocked kick as Patrick Renda came around from the left side. Dabney Hunter came around from the left side and got his hand all over that ball. So they snuck one in on us, and Homewood then will make it 13-0 on the missed point after attempt.
An interesting statistic. In the first quarter with 52 seconds to go, the Erwin offense was on the field for 7 plays. The rest of the time it was the Homewood offense taking it down the field and actually mixing up the runs and passes very well. And at this point, with just 52 seconds to go in the first quarter, the Erwin defense, they don't have a clue. Homewood is running, passing. When Erwin thinks run, they're passing. When they think pass, they're running. And Homewood's game plan is outstanding.
12 plays in the Homewood drive, officially 82 yards, although the penalty of 9 took it back some more. 6 minutes, 31 seconds off the clock, perhaps that being the most significant statistic. Homewood up, 13-0. Here's the kick from Wes Steed. Right down the pipe, it'll go into the end zone and come back for a touchback. Well, strong running in that drive and the first drive, of course, by Robert Davis. Davis now with 123 yards on the night and 2 touchdowns. Just doing a great job.
Getting stronger as the game goes on is one of Robert Davis's trademarks. If that holds true, it could be a very long night for Erwin as their defense is tiring quickly after being on the field the entire first quarter.
A lot of high school backs would like those stats for a game. This is the first quarter. 52 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Pat Worsham gives to number 25, Keith Smith. Smith will take it out maybe to about the 24-yard line. Maybe a gain of 5 that time. Jonathan Hammaker, number 79, and Brian Greer, number 11, on the stop for Homewood. I don't know if you can notice, Fred, we can see it quite visibly here, but you notice a smoky sort of atmosphere out there on the field. I believe one of the premier activities at Erwin these days is cooking out, and they're selling some delicious hamburgers, none of which are in the booth at this moment, I might add. Good tackle out there. Was it Elvin Skipper, I believe? Skipper was just grabbing the shoelaces of Keith Smith as he came around the right end as the first quarter runs out. So they'll stop the play on the field, and we'll take a timeout as well. We'll let you hear from one of our fine sponsors that helps us bring this rebroadcast of the Patriots football game every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday night, whatever night of the week this is. We're starting the second quarter in just a few moments. The score from Erwin is Homewood 13 and Erwin nothing. You're watching Homewood Patriot football.
Dear Central Bank.
Oh, writing the bank.
Yeah.
They messed up the checking account?
No.
Had to wait in line?
No.
rude tellers?
No, never. Rude husband.
Me?
I'm thanking them for all the trouble they went to and all the extra work they did so we could close the loan on this house.
That's their job.
In 2 weeks.
Oh, 2 weeks. That's right.
Yeah, that's right. That's Central Bank.
Central Bank. Unlike other banks, our prime interest is you.
Back to live action from Wilson Bowman Field on a crisp fall evening at Erwin. Fred, some quick first quarter stats. Homewood passed the ball twice, 4 times, 2 complete for 24 yards. They rushed the ball 13 times for 131 yards. Total offense now in the first quarter for the Patriots, 155 yards. Erwin threw the ball twice, completed 1 pass for 26 yards. That was a big one. 13 yards rushing for total offense of 39 yards. They want to see what they can do with it. And they start with 3rd down now in the second quarter and about 5. Worsham rolls out. He has it complete to Keith Smith. Smith dances out across the 47-yard line, and he'll be run out of bounds there. Conversation held on the Homewood sideline. Alexander Adamson was the man who ran him out of bounds. But no flags. And a first down for the Erwin Eagles.
Erwin utilizing some speed in the backfield that time with Keith Smith in the backfield.
A 13-yard gain by Smith, and that makes the line of scrimmage now the 38. Only the second first down for the Eagles in this contest. Here's the give to Jason Horn right up the middle. Stopped on the play that time by Michael Coggin. Michael, the junior defensive tackle, which means we love to say that because that means he's coming back next year.
Coming back next year. Erwin will find the going tough in the middle when they go up against Lee Thompson, Eric Rebels, Michael Coggin, and the rest of the guys there. Shane Davis.
Yeah, the stats from last week on the season look pretty good for guys like Lee Thompson and Eric Rebels. Here's Pat Worsham on 2nd and 8, pursued into and out of the grass, but hello, Pat. Lee Thompson was one of them, and Eric Rebels was the other, and those two gentlemen combined to put the hurt on Mr. Pat Worsham, the Erwin quarterback. Hard hit.
Give Pat some credit that time. He got up after a tough hit by Rebels and Thompson. Especially enthusiastic was Lee Thompson that time. It's not often you get a quarterback out in the open like that, and Lee taking advantage of a good, clean hit.
Let's look at a real quick, we'll hold up on the replay. We'll hold up on the replay and maybe look at it next time. It was a good hard hit, and Jonathan Hamaker was on the pursuit that time. Want to see if we can look at it again, but let's catch the action first. Here's Worsham to throw. A long pass. I believe it was tipped. It looked like it might have risen just a little bit as it went across the middle. But I'll tell you something, Jason Horn was out there and was a threat. Let's take a look at that hard hit just a few minutes ago by Rebels and Lee Thompson.
Good rush from the center, Jonathan Hamaker coming around, just missing, and there's the hit. Lee Thompson and Eric Rebels putting a stop on Pat Worsham.
Erwin will kick it. The last time they kicked the ball, 34 yards on the punt. This one will go out of bounds at about the 29, 28-yard line. And so Homewood, again deep in its own territory, will go into business. A 30-yard punt that time. Line of scrimmage the 28. The clock is stopped with the ball going out of bounds. 10:18 remaining now in the half. We'll not be able to bring you a halftime performance tonight, although we will tell you that the Homewood Patriot Marching Band and the Color Guard and the Star Spangled Girls are here. Hope you're at the stadium with us so you can enjoy it, because we will not be able to bring it to you at the half tonight. Well, Robert Davis is stopped on that play. Perhaps they should have blown the whistle a little quicker, but at any rate, he's brought down. And just to follow that point on why we won't be bringing you a halftime performance of the band tonight, it's because we're broadcasting from the opposite side of the field, and they will not be facing in this direction. Homewood has taken the ball in, Fred, 3 different times at their own 37, at their own 18, at their own 28. So a mixture of possession possibilities there. This time, after the loss of 4, they look at 2nd and about 14 from their own 23. Here's Robert Davis dancing outside, still on his feet, and he comes to rest finally at the 50-yard line after a strong, long run by Robert Davis.
Davis just using the speed, and the offensive lineman not even blowing holes in the Erwin defensive line right now, just giving Davis a seam to pop through, and they're pitching the ball deep in the backfield, letting Davis pick the spot where the seam appears. That time, a big gain, as Erwin is starting to tackle sloppy now. Davis using some spin moves and just good power to gain extra yardage.
Well, a couple of linebackers for Erwin, Michael Miller and Brian Burns, finally combined to bring him down, but not before that 27-yard run, which puts Homewood in business now right at midfield. Here's Wes Steed. He looks to throw, blocking from behind, right into the hands of Alexander Adamson at the 38-yard line, and Zan is down to about the 35-yard line. Defended by Bobby Peoples, but Peoples was a step behind Adamson, and that pass play is good for another first down.
Again, Adamson on a crossing pattern, leaving Peoples behind, just outrunning him. A good step or two in front, catching the pass. Well-executed play that time by Wes Steed and Adamson.
Good use of the Gambler offense. Number 7 goes to the left, number 11 comes to the right. 7 come 11, the Gambler offense. From the 35-yard line, another first down for the Patriots. Steed gives to Davis, right up the middle. Woo, hard running. That head on by a host of Erwin tacklers. An aggressive Erwin tackler, number 80, Brian Burns. Also number 46, Jason Hennington. About 5.5, I'd say, on the play that time. The second down marker at about the 30-yard line. Try to keep you up to date on the time in the second quarter here. It's 8:13 remaining. If you've just joined us and haven't heard the score, Homewood's up by 13 over the Erwin Eagles. Here's second down. Wes Steed on the pitch to Davis. Blocking outside. Davis has the first down and more as he makes it down to about the 21-yard line. Jason Horn, their fullback and linebacker, playing both ways, makes the stop. The 9th first down for the Patriots. 9 times they've moved the chains for us. 3 times, I believe, twice now for Erwin. Moulton has come back in the game now for Homewood. I missed it when he came out. Who was... well, we ran 2 tight ends, I see. Robert Davis with 159 yards now, and we're still in the second quarter. Here's the give to Eric Moulton. Moulton at tackle, met head on by Brian Burns. Burns is really getting a lot of defensive action for the Erwin Eagles tonight.
Absolutely is. Burns playing an outstanding game for Erwin, putting some big hits on Robert Davis and Eric Moulton. That time looked to be a loss of just a couple, and brings up a second down for Homewood.
We're delighted to tell you that Brian Burns is a senior. And when these folks come visit at Waldrop Stadium next year, if they're on the schedule, and I think they are, we won't be seeing Mr. Burns. He may be playing at some higher education institution. Here's second and about 7 now for the Patriots as the going gets tough down deep in Erwin territory. Still tough at the 18-yard line. Not much running room for Robert Davis. Chris Crary on the tackle. And that'll bring up a third down possession play for the Patriots.
Another key
the line
play.
of scrimmage on about the 17-yard line.
Another key play for the Erwin defense right now, as earlier in the game, Homewood made good on their third down conversion. This play, a key third down if Erwin hopes to stem the tide of this Patriot offense.
Well, Darian Finley is in the game now, replacing Eric Moulton. Finley plays at the fullback position. There's a good shot of the lines, head on. Here's the give this time. Steed on the keeper. The pitch to Davis, but he's pursued. Looks like he fumbled, but the ball went out of bounds. Hard to tell at this angle how far that run went. Looks like it is going to be a fourth down and maybe 2. No, I'm wrong. It's plenty of room for a first down. It's just hard to see it at this angle.
Initially, the referee had it marked at 4th, and when they untangled the players and got the ball out of bounds, it looks as though he fumbled forward for a first down.
A 7-yard gain, we're told, that time in the line of scrimmage just inside the 10-yard line. 2 tight ends in the game again. A single setback is Robert Davis. Andrzejewski split to the left, Greer to the right. The give is to Davis. He looks for room around the left end. hard to see how much he might have made. 5 yards, I'm told, from Danny Callies, our spotter on the sidelines, working through Mike Whitten, our spotter in the booth. Also Larry Wygand along with us tonight, Fred, and we appreciate the help of our spotters. I think we see an injured player for Erwin on the far sideline.
Possibly Matt Daly, number 15, or number 12, Dabney Hunter. Difficult to tell from this angle.
Hunter plays on that side in the backfield in their defensive secondary. He's one of their key players. Homewood now with 10 first downs and the line of scrimmage at about the 5-yard line. Well, the Patriots would like to get one more into the, at least one more into the, onto the scoreboard before the half. We've had 9 plays so far in this drive, run about 4 minutes off the clock.
One of the fastest
Tell you what,
plays.
while we have an injured player on the field, Fred, let's pause just for a moment for a commercial message. I think it'd be appropriate to do that, and when we come back, we'll finish up this drive of the Patriots. 6 minutes remaining. The score: Homewood 13 and Erwin nothing. You're watching Homewood Patriot football.
This is the place where winners and losers are made. What does it take to be a winner? According to one well-known football coach, it begins with a great game plan, followed by excellent practice habits, and then the players must accept the game plan. In order to become a winner in life, we must accept God's game plan. We do that by accepting Jesus Christ as our Savior and Lord. I'm Gary Fenton, pastor of Dawson Memorial Baptist Church, inviting you to become a winner in life.
Back to live action. Here's Wes Steed rolling, looking. Steed to throw. He has a receiver. It's Alexander Adamson. Put another 6 on the board for the Patriots. Flag on the play. And Wes Steed is down after a hard hit in his own backfield. We'll have to see what the call is. Wes took just a moment getting up. And it quietened this Homewood sideline. I'm here to tell you the crowd instantly got quiet. We believe the call may be roughing the passer. It is a personal foul, roughing the passer against Erwin. Declined, of course, by the Patriots.
Looks like Michael Miller that time a little too enthusiastic on his rush on Wes Steed. Wes Steed getting off a bullet to Adamson in the back of the end zone, threaded the needle. 6 more points for the Patriots.
Well, it appears that we may go for 2 to make up the deficit of the missed extra point earlier. There you see the scoreboard. The scoreboard just a little bit behind because right now it's 19-0. And they'll change it in a minute, I'm sure. 5:54 remaining in the second period. The play is in now from the sidelines, and the Patriots will go for 2. Try to make this 21-0. Davis is the tailback. Moulton the fullback. Adamson and Greer wide to the right. Andrzejewski wide to the left. The quarterback is Steed. Fake going to give to Davis. Davis dancing into the end zone. Give him 2 more points. Fred, Homewood is showing a new look tonight, a couple of new looks. We are looking at an offense either with no tight ends or with 2 tight ends. It's a look we haven't seen on offense in 3 earlier games this season.
That's right. Coach Gann giving Erwin something to think about and something to adjust to at game time. During the game, they had not run the single back set in the previous 3 games, had not really needed to since they were ahead by so many points at the halves of each of those games. And he could really afford to save up some plays for this Erwin team coming in 3-0. You want to save a little something special for them. And this one-back offense and the wide receiver set has given Erwin some trouble.
We're in an official timeout for a water break, and that's a good time for us to take a break as well. We're going to pause in the action here from Wilson Bowman Field in Erwin as the Homewood Patriots have taken a 21-0 lead over the Eagles with 5:54 remaining in the second quarter of play. 5:54 remaining in the half. We'll be back from this after this from one of our sponsors. We'll remind you, as always, you're watching Homewood Patriot football. Union State Bank, established in 1903, is proud to be a part of the Homewood community. We invite you to visit our office, conveniently located at 3026 Independence Drive, next to Piggly Wiggly in Homewood. Union State Bank is a full-service bank dedicated to providing friendly, quality banking services to our customers. A drive-through automated teller machine is available 24 hours a day at our Homewood office for your convenience. Union State also offers service charge-free checking to all high school and college students. Union State Bank, the bank you can make friends with. Back to live action on the kickoff. Here's Dabney Hunter coming in for Erwin, and he'll be brought down hard at about the 35-yard line, but a good run back by the young Erwin. Kip Cowan, number 66, on the tackle for Homewood, and Hunter, the senior, I said the young Erwin player, the senior cornerback and halfback for Erwin, took it in and brought it back. So Erwin in gear now, and Fred, they're going to have to do something or their morale will just be shot.
They have got to do something this series to get any kind of enthusiasm generated before the half. So far, they've run less than 12 plays, and Homewood has had the ball the rest of the first half.
Here's Erwin now. Pat Worsham is their quarterback. He fakes the give to the middle. He'll be brought down from behind by Jonathan Hamaker and Dusty Smith. Hamaker and Smith combining to bring him down with the first quarterback sack of this game at Erwin. That Homewood drive, Fred, covered 72 yards in 10 plays and took 4:24 off the clock. Homewood just chewing up tremendous amounts of clock time tonight.
Clock and yardage, and at this point, they're chewing up that Erwin defense.
All right, the loss is of about 5. So call it now 2nd and 15 as Worsham will drop back and look to throw. Hunter was the intended receiver. Looks like they're going to call it a complete pass. He caught it right on the ground. But I don't believe it's enough for the first down.
He looks to be about 3 yards short, which brings up an interesting call for Coach Ferris. He's been using his rollout passes and his rollout patterns to this point. So should he run it again, it will not be a surprise to this Homewood defense. And I look for Hamaker and Michael Coggin and Eric Rebels and the rest of the guys to come on this play.
Worsham to throw again with 3rd and about 3. Throws all he's got. Alexander Adamson, defending on the play, turned around at the last minute and tipped it out of the hands of the Erwin receiver. That was Patrick Renda. No, I'm sorry, that was Dabney Hunter, the intended receiver. But that'll bring up 4th down and about 3. So it's likely that we'll see Erwin in punt formation.
Alexander dodging a bullet that time, losing track of the ball, and just happened to turn around at just the right time, knocking the ball away from number 12.
Dabney Hunter. Erwin right now with 34 and 30-yard punts. We'll have to see where this will go. They've got a pretty good little punter. He sends it way back. Brian Greer is going to let it go, and it will roll dead at about the 11-yard line. So with 4 minutes remaining in the first half of play, Homewood starts with its back to the wall. Looks like about a 48-yard punt.
So far, if it's one phase of the Erwin game plan that has worked well, it's keeping Homewood bottled up on their end of the field at the start of every series. Unfortunately, Homewood responds by driving 80 yards, 72 yards, and going 60 yards for touchdowns.
I'll tell you, Fred, we look straight across the field at a relatively full Erwin stand, and they are quiet. The stands are just absolutely silent on the Erwin side of the field. I think they're perhaps stunned at the score this early in the game. Here's Homewood from deep in its own territory. Davis looks for running room. He has it on the outside. It's a foot race. It's a foot race. Roberts stretching it out. Put another 6 on the board for Robert Davis. An 89-yard run from scrimmage for the senior tailback. Let's not forget to give credit to the blocking of the Homewood line on the outside. They enable him to turn that corner, and then the rest of it is afterburners.
If we can get a replay on that, you'll see outstanding blocking at the point of attack by the offensive line. Stanley Lee, Jason Zarger, the right side of that line, and you'll see the speed of Robert Davis very evident. You'll also see a very tired Erwin defense trying to chase him down, and as we see the extra point by West Steed.
Well, there's the successful extra point. That'll make it 28-0. I wish we did have a replay on that one, but we don't, Fred. I'm told by the guys in the truck. However, a magnificent 89-yard run from scrimmage by Robert Davis, and you can see it again Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday night.
And as you watch it again, look for the outstanding block thrown that time by the referee. Robert Davis using the referee, trailing him downfield to screen off the last possible Erwin defender, Dabney Hunter, who had the angle on Robert Davis. Robert using the referee, who made a pretty fair block.
He sure did. Let me tell you something. Robert Davis has carried the ball 19 times tonight, Fred. He's got 264 yards rushing and 3 TDs. And folks, this is the first half, and we still got 3.5 minutes to play in the first half. Whale of a ball game. I hope you're not just joining us, but if you are, it's 28-0. Homewood Patriots over the Erwin Eagles, and we're having a good time here on a Friday night in late September. .329 remaining in the second quarter. West Steed is ready to kick it. Hunter is there, number 12, positioned in the center to take the kick. Wes will put his foot into it and try to get it into the end zone. A long, low kick. Hunter takes it in. He was down. The referee, I think, was signaling that the clock should start, but at the same time, he signaled that the knee touched the ground. So Erwin will be backed up in its own territory at just shy of the 5-yard line.
And this offense from Erwin can ill afford to be backed up in their own end zone or near their own end zone. They've been, to this point, unable to generate anything consistently on offense. They've had a couple of pass plays, used Keith Smith effectively. Also, Dabney Hunter's caught a couple of passes. Erwin seems to be more effective when they come out and hit the crossing pattern to some of their tight ends. They're going to need to get something going right now.
Homewood has had the ball 4 times. They've scored 4 times. No punts for the Patriots tonight. Here's Horn, the senior fullback, running at his right end. Looks like he may be out across the 10, perhaps the 12-yard line. Stopped by Elvin Skipper that time. A good run from scrimmage for Jason Horn. Give him about 7.5 yards on the carry. That'll make the line of scrimmage just over the 12. So here's second and short now for Pat Worsham and the Erwin Eagles. He'll give to Smith again. Smith, the tailback. Looks like he's got plenty of room for the first down. That's the third first down for the Eagles.
Again, Erwin content right now to grind it out on the ground up the middle with 2 minutes and 2.5 minutes to go in the first half to move it away from their goal line.
Homewood will take a timeout. Looks like they may have some equipment changing going on. Dusty Smith has come to the sidelines and is doing something with the jersey. 2:21 is the time as the clock stops. Homewood 28 and Erwin nothing. Into the game now is number 54, Paul Owen. Owen, a sophomore, and he'll go in, I guess, in place of Dusty while they work the equipment problem on the sideline. How'd you like to have to do that halftime talk in the Erwin locker room?
These guys, the Erwin team, they were so enthusiastic about this game and about playing a major talent like Robert Davis in this Homewood squad, ranked number 2 in the state in 5A football, right behind Blunt High School in Mobile, down in Pritchard. Those same 2 teams met last year for the championship, so they're 1-2 again. And Erwin was sky high, ready for this game. Their program had been down for a couple of years, and they looked at this game as a kind of a breakthrough for the Erwin program, coming back and playing a major program like Homewood. And it's got to be a disappointment at this point, down 28-0, to not have performed better offensively.
Well, after that timeout for Homewood, we'll see what Erwin can do. They've got a 1st and 10. The blitz, they picked up the pass, and Worsham will be thrown for a big loss. Trying to see who it might have been. I looked like I saw a 79. Was that Hammaker? Jonathan Hammaker in on that. I also thought I saw a 72. Must have been 79.
Jonathan Hammaker that time, a short drop by Worsham, looking for the pull-up and go. Hammaker was on him before he could even look for his receiver.
Yeah, the nail was by Hammaker. And not unusual that we might see that, by the way. Excellent blitz by the Homewood defense. Here's Worsham to throw. He rolls right. Throws incomplete. Hard to see if he dropped it. I think maybe he was out of bounds. Erwin now has about 19 yards rushing, Fred, but they do have 52 yards passing, 71 yards in total offense.
Very difficult position for Erwin to be in. It looks as though they're going to have to use their passing game to try and open a lane or two for their running attack. But down 28-0. Michael Coggin, Jonathan Hammaker, Shane Davis, Eric Rebels, the rest of the guys are just going now. They know Erwin's got to turn it loose.
Worsham will throw. Looks long. Oh, beautiful catch. Beautiful catch by Patrick Renda. A one-handed catch by the wide receiver Renda for Erwin. And that puts them in business out at about the 34-yard line, just shy of their own 35-yard line. The clock with 1:31 stops to move the chains, and now we'll start again. Erwin trying to muster some offense to take it into the halftime with at least some points on the board. Worsham is pursued. Another long pass. Defended by Elvin Skipper, but there is a flag on the far sidelines. We'll wait and see what the call is.
Looks as though they're talking it over with the Homewood captains.
Looks like the call may be illegal. Ineligible lineman. Illegal. There's a journalist for you. Ineligible lineman downfield is the call, and it goes against the Eagles, so that negates most of the pass, the Worsham to Renda pass from just a few moments ago. They'll replay first down with a 1st and 15. The line of scrimmage is the 30. Here's Renda in motion. The quick hit pass around the left end to Patrick Renda. Henry Walburn on the tackle that time. That play good for maybe 6 or 7 yards. It'll bring up second and a long 8. 1:07 and the clock running now, but a timeout called by Erwin. They want to see if they can muster some offense to put some points on the board.
A little bit of success in these last 2 minutes of the first half. Give some credit to the Homewood defense right now, playing a little looser with a 28-0 lead. As we've seen in the past, defensive backs like Alexander Adamson and Elvin Skipper and Brian Greer, Erwin continues to throw the same patterns that they're throwing and have thrown all night. It could be, it's just a matter of time.
All right, well, we're going to take a quick tape change, and we'll pause for just a second and be right back to live action while there's timeout on the field. You're watching Homewood Patriot football. Now we're back to live action. We got a fresh tape loaded up, and we're ready to go. You know, that's a great shot we had right before we went away to change the tapes. Mike Thorson, the defensive coordinator out there, just absolutely chewing on those guys. It's 28-0, and he never gives up. What a great coach. Here's the give to Jason Horn, right up the middle, maybe over right tackle. Horn struggling for yardage out near midfield, stopped by Lee Thompson. But the clock now running, and the clock is the enemy of the Erwin Eagles as they line it up without a huddle. 44 seconds, 43 seconds. Worsham will throw just to stop it. The completion is to Renda, but Renda's fast. Let's see if anybody can catch him. Rebels tries, but he falls into the end zone, and Erwin comes away with 6 points with 31 seconds remaining.
Oh, my goodness. A simple look-in pattern. on the left side to Renda. Sometimes the simplest plays get you in the most trouble, and Renda using surprisingly good speed.
Well, it gives him a tremendous emotional boost going into that halftime locker room. Dale Posey to kick it for Erwin. Posey puts it up, and it's good. 31 seconds remaining in the half. The Erwin Eagles strike their first blood. The timeout on the field, and the score Homewood 28 and Erwin 7. Hard to say what happened, but the pass was to Patrick Renda around left end. Just a quick little pass.
Looks as though the cornerback on this side simply misjudged Renda and didn't lock up on the tackle. 62 yards later, Renda using surprising speed. Several Homewood players had a chance to run him down, but he just simply took it 62 yards and put Erwin on the board.
That gives the Eagles a boost. A 62-yard touchdown pass caps an 8-play, 95-yard drive for the Erwin Eagles. We'll see if they do kick it onside. They line up as though they might attempt to kick it onside. Typically, they line up in the huddle and then spread out. Someday someone will have to explain the logic of that to me. It is an onside. It crosses 10 yards. I believe Erwin has the ball back. Indeed, the referee signals that Erwin has the ball. An Erwin player is down and is not moving. That's the young man who fell on the ball.
So that might be Dabney Hunter.
If it's 12, it's Dabney Hunter, and he's a key player for them. Senior cornerback.
Interesting concept by Erwin to line up in the center of the field that way, as if to kick the onside and then spread out for a regular kick and then go ahead and kick the onside. Gives the receiving team something to consider as they're lined up waiting for the kick.
Well, for one thing's for sure, Fred Morris, and that is that halftime is going to be interesting in both locker rooms.
Coach Thorson probably beside himself right now. When Erwin took over this last series, it was better than 2.5 minutes to go on the clock. Now 31 seconds to go in the first half. Erwin scores a touchdown. Can't make Coach Thorson happy. Homewood with an opportunity possibly for some more points if they stop Erwin. But Erwin going 62 yards on a pass play and now recover the onside kick. But if Dabney Hunter is hurt and out of the game, a very high price to pay.
Well, there's a shot of a good Homewood Patriot loyal fan sipping on a little hot chocolate on a crisp fall evening in Erwin. And we certainly hope that Dabney Hunter, number 12, is not seriously injured. He was at the bottom of a pile that came up on the onside kick. Erwin successful in recovering the onside kick. And I'll tell you one thing, Fred. There's 31 seconds left on the clock. The last touchdown for Erwin didn't take that long, and if they were to score again, this is a different ball game going into the second half.
Difficult to go up 28 to nothing in the first half and not lose some of your intensity. Perhaps that's what Coach Thorson was trying to instill in his defensive players. So we see Hunter looking at his knee at this point. Looks to be a knee injury or possibly an ankle. See the trainers there, doctor working on him. Interesting onside kick. It appeared that there were only two players in the general vicinity when the ball was coming down. Hunter going after the ball as if it was his. The Homewood player unfortunately hesitating somewhat, and Hunter coming up with the recovery. I believe the other players coming in on the pile possibly are the culprits, or that's what happened to Hunter. Someone came in on the pile up and injured that leg.
Well, they're going to take him, stand him up very gingerly. Looks to be the left leg of number 12, Dabney Hunter. He's a fine young ball player, and we hope that it is indeed not a serious injury at all, and perhaps something that won't require certainly any surgery or rehabilitation. We'll see if we can find out on that and let you know what the word is. In the meantime, back to the business at hand. The Erwin Eagles with the ball. The line of scrimmage, the 44-yard line. 43, along 43 or 44-yard line. And Patrick Worsham now looking at 31 seconds remaining in the half to try and put another score on the board. Fred, would you guess we're going to see some passes here?
I believe young Patrick will put it up, again using the rollout.
Worsham with all he's got. Intercepted. Is it Elvin? Elvin Skipper. Way to go, Elvin. That takes care of that. 19 seconds now remaining in the half, and Homewood has the ball. Fine interception by Elvin Skipper. He timed it just right, went up, took the passing threat away from Erwin.
A good opportunity there by the Homewood defense to use their coverage, their double coverage actually on the deep man. Erwin flooding the zone on the right side. Worsham making the wrong read, throwing into double coverage. Elvin Skipper right there to pick it off.
Well, I was afraid he was going with a screen to Keith Smith for a minute.
That was the short pattern, and the open pattern on that play. Unfortunately, Worsham going deep.
Well, time runs out here in Erwin, and so as the teams go to the halftime locker rooms, we'll remind you that we'll be back following the halftime for the second half of play. It's been a heck of a first half, though, and if you're just joining us, I'm sorry that you missed it. That's the end of the first half of play. We're going to stop now for a timeout and some messages from our sponsors. We'll enjoy the band and hope that you'll be with us next week. The score here from Erwin is Homewood 28 and Erwin 7. You're watching Homewood Patriot Football.
When you think insurance, think Buddy Wade. Auto, home, business, life, or health, no matter what your insurance needs may be, Buddy Wade is your local State Farm agent with the insurance experience you want. From his office at the corner of Palisades Boulevard and Columbiana Road, Buddy has served Homewood and surrounding areas for over 15 years. When you think insurance, think experience. Think Buddy Wade. Come by and visit his office or call 942-4444.
It's Piggly Wiggly Food Stores for quality foods, friendly service, and fair prices. You'll find a wide selection of the freshest seasonal produce brought in daily, and the finest heavy Western USDA choice beef, and of course, plump, fresh-cut chickens never frozen. And Piggly Wiggly serves hot, fresh deli foods of the finest quality served up daily, the next best thing to home cooking. And Piggly Wiggly Food Stores are proud of our friendly people serving your needs in Mountain Brook, Homewood. It's Piggly Wiggly, the finest food stores around.
Before I grew up to be a loan officer, I grew up to be responsible. As a child, my brother and sisters and I helped our parents in a small grocery store. We stocked the shelves, we helped sweep the store. There were many responsibilities that I felt, even that young. I've carried this responsibility over into my life as a loan officer. I try to make lending a comfortable experience because I also have to borrow money. At AmSouth, we go that extra mile to make borrowing a comfortable experience for you.
Back at Wilson Bowman Field in Huffman, and we've got some halftime, Huffman. Did I say Huffman? Starting off the second half in fine style from Erwin, and we have some halftime statistics for you that I think you'll be impressed with. First, I'll give you the team statistics, and Fred will tell you about Robert Davis's night so far. Homewood has 11 first downs to Erwin's 5. Homewood with 285 yards rushing to Erwin's 21. Homewood with 44 yards passing to Erwin's 141. Total offense for Homewood 329, and for Erwin 162. But the statistics for Robert Davis are even more dramatic. Fred?
Robert Davis tonight, 264 yards on 19 carries, 3 touchdowns, an outstanding 13.9-yard average tonight, which lays waste to Coach Ferris's plan to swarm tackle and keep Robert Davis in check. That's for tonight only, 13.9 yards an average, 728 yards so far this year in 3.5 ball games. That's on 74 carries. Still a superlative 9.8 yards per average. That's Robert Davis to this point.
Just an amazing night. And of course, runs from scrimmage for touchdowns from 52 and 89 yards as well. Here's West Steed's kick to start the second half. It skims in and out of the hands of Keith Smith, and it goes into the end zone for a touchback. So that's another kick that the Patriots won't have to worry about someone returning. And we're starting the second half of play. Glad to have you back with us, and if you missed the first half, you missed an exciting half of football. The score is 28-7. Those 7 points for Erwin coming in the last 30 seconds or so of the first half, as Erwin finally scored on a quick pass strike from quarterback Pat Worsham to Patrick Renda, their fine receiver. Also significantly in the first half of play, the senior cornerback Dabney Hunter was injured and taken out of the game with what looked to be an injury to the left knee. We'll have to see if Dabney Hunter makes it back in the game. Here's Erwin, 1st and 10 from its own 20. The give to Horn. Horn stopped by Dusty Smith. Tripped up as he tried to take it around left end.
Dusty Smith that time knifing through Jason Horn with some running room around the left end that time. Dusty Smith, a shoe-top tackle, averting a bigger gain by Jason Horn, who is Erwin's leading ground gainer, but so far tonight averaging less than 2 yards per carry.
We're glad you're with us this evening. It's a beautiful night for high school football. This is the way they meant to play it. So 2nd and 10 now for Erwin. Renda in motion, but the give is up the middle to Horn again. Looks to be a short gain. Stopped by Lee Thompson and by Dusty Smith again. Reminder that this broadcast is brought to you by Homewood High School and through the courtesy of some volunteers whose names we want to give you in just a minute after this play. 3rd and long now for Erwin from about their 22. Worsham on the give to Renda around right in, and he's got lots of running room. Pursued, but not until after he probably, I believe he gets first down yardage. Eric Rebels finally brought him down. I believe they'll stop the clock and move the chains. We want to say thank you to, first of all, our producer, Dudley Hindman, who helps us put this broadcast together. Jack Munger, Wes Gray, and Dave Rothoff are our camera persons tonight. And Jack and Wes in particular are out in the stands tonight with their camera positions. We'll give you some more names in just a minute. Here's Renda in motion, but the give is to Horn. Horn again, but he's pulled down this time as he crosses the 36, maybe the 37-yard line.
Well, Brian Greer just a little bit slow getting up that time.
Greer was slow getting up, and that gave everybody a pause. It looked to also to be possibly holding that left arm, but he stays in the game, and we certainly hope that he's all right. After a gain of 5, the line of scrimmage is now the 36-yard line. The tackler on that play, the ball carrier that time, I'm sorry, was Mike Word. Okay, here's Keith Smith, and Smith finds a lot of running room, and he's almost up to the 50-yard line. He stopped at about the 47 or 48. Another first down for Erwin. Erwin coming back from the halftime locker room with some spirit, Brett.
A few adjustments in the offensive side of the ball. They came out throwing. They haven't thrown yet. They came out running the ball off tackle again using the wingback reverse and running some flex bone offense. That time Keith Smith picking his way and getting another first down for Erwin.
Second first down of this half for the Eagles. Here's Renda in motion. Again, the give to Horn, I believe. Right up the middle, and Erwin content to just grind it out against the Patriot defense. Eric Rebels, number 64, and Brian Greer, number 11, combined to bring him down. You know, a few moments ago, I attributed a run to a Erwin player, and it was actually a Homewood player that we were trying to give credit for making a stop. That was Eugene Sharp. Eugene is in the game. He's a junior, playing in a linebacker position. Pat Worsham will pass, but he's pressured, and he'll be brought down back in Eagle territory at about the 47-yard line. Another big sack for the Homewood defense. I see Dusty Smith and Jonathan Hamaker are the ones who got their hands around him. And those two guys combined for another quarterback sack.
Give that sack that time to the coverage man. Brian Greer, Alexander Adamson, Elvin Skipper rather, nowhere for Worsham to throw the ball. taking up time, allowing the up front guys, Shane Davis, Dusty Smith, and the rest of the guys to bring him down for a loss.
After the loss of 4, the line of scrimmage, Erwin's own 48, a long third down here. Worsham gives to Keith Smith, the halfback pass, defended by Skipper. And the pass is complete. And the Erwin stands come alive now. Russell Cross was the receiver. And Elvin Skipper the defender, but the pass is complete. And it's completed about the 13-yard line. A 37-yard pass play. Erwin in serious business now at the Patriot 13. They give it to Horn, and he's stopped in his own backfield. Sharp, Greer, Hammaker, Smith, the gang combined to bring him down. Fred, a big third down play, an emotional third down play for the Erwin Eagles that time.
It sure was. More success in the first 3 minutes of this second half than they had in the entire first half, minus the 62-yard pass play.
Here's the misdirection give to Jason Horn. Horn again stopped at about the line of scrimmage. That'll bring up 3rd and long for the Eagles. Henry Walburn in on the stop that time for Homewood. Also Eric Rebels. Maybe a gain of 2, 1.5 or 2. 3rd down now from the 12-yard line. Fred, they would have to go to the 3 for a first down. A critical play in this early in the second half for the Erwin Eagles. Patrick Renda is dragged down from behind by Eugene Sharp. And that should set up a field goal situation. The loss of 2 should set up a field goal situation for Erwin, but we'll have to see what they decide to do.
So the kicking team is coming in. An important series for Erwin to get some points on the board. 3 is better than none. It looks as though Coach Ferris is going to take a shot at the field goal, spotting it at the 22-yard line.
Erwin's Dale Posey kicks it, but it is no good. It sinks off to the left. And that brings a response from the Homewood partisans on this side of the field. So the defense comes off. That 32-yard attempt no good. And Fred, someone pointed out to me during the half that the score by Erwin in the waning moments of the first half was the first time our first-string defense has been scored on this year.
I'm not surprised. They've been playing outstanding football the entire year. Looks like we've got a water break coming up there. Coach Thorson has had this defensive unit ready to play every game this year.
Well, with a stop of the action on the field, we're going to take a timeout as well for a commercial message from one of our sponsors. So let us recap for you for just a moment. Erwin took the ball in the beginning of the second half and drove it down. A failed 32-yard field goal attempt now. With 5:33 remaining in the third period of play, Homewood maintains a 28-7 lead. We'll stop so that you can hear from one of our sponsors, and we'll remind you that you're watching Homewood Patriot football.
Before I learned about lending money, I learned about respect. I grew up in a large family of 6 children, and my parents always tried to instill in us the importance of treating every person the way we'd like to be treated ourselves. I know what it's like to borrow money because bankers are just like anybody else. We're humans too. Whenever a customer comes in to see me, I treat them like I'd like to be treated myself. When you come into AmSouth to borrow money, you're doing us a favor, and we appreciate it.
Back to live action at Erwin. Here's Wes Steed pitching to Robert Davis around right in, and Robert's collared and brought down, but not until he gains about 4 yards around the left side of that Erwin line. Brian Burns on the stop. Larry Larry Wygand also points out, Fred, that we've been giving a lot of credit to that Homewood defense and the fine work of Coach Thorson. We better give some credit to that Homewood offense. The offensive coordinator, Bob Newton, who has put 28 points on the board tonight. They all do a magnificent job, and it's always dangerous to start singling out one over the other. But what a team they've got. Okay, the Gambler offense is in. Andrzejewski, number 7, split to the left, and Greer, number 11, split to the right. Let's see what they do. Second and about 7 for the Patriots. Steed on the keeper, and he tries to option. Wisely probably holds on to the ball. Patriot fans want an unnecessary roughness call for Brian Burns, who again stopped that big number 80 for Erwin, who took West Steed for a loss of about 3 on the play. Takes the line of scrimmage back to about the 21-yard line and brings up a long 3rd down.
West that time having thoughts of pitching the ball, even as Burns had him wrapped up and wisely held on to it.
Let's see if we can muster an offensive threat on 3rd and long here. 3rd and 9 from their own 21, the Patriots. Steed will pass. Pressure to screen pass across the middle to Alexander Adamson. He has the first down and more. Adamson out to about the 36. What a great call. A good offensive call. Homewood Middle School head coach Dickie Wright working the sidelines tonight and calling the plays in.
Excellent call that time to defuse this Erwin rush. The defense fired up by the success of the offense, and the wingback screen that time to Adamson took some of the spring out of the legs of that defense.
Another new offensive look that we have not seen this year, Fred. The screen play executed perfectly. Here's the pitch to Davis. He looks for room around the right side, cuts back into the middle. He'll get maybe 3 yards, but shy of the 40. That was the 2 tight end offense with Davis the single setback. And that time to stop by Curtis Freeman. A couple of big wins we need to talk about that took place earlier this week, Fred. Down in the vicinity of Thompson in Alabaster, Alabama. Homewood Middle School won over the Thompson Middle School Warriors 7-0. And the 9th grade team from Homewood High School won also over Thompson by a larger score of 17-0. Congratulations to Bobby Statham and Russell Martin, and also to Dickie Wright, David Litton, and the staff at Homewood Middle School for those wins. Here's Robert still on his feet. He's shy of the 50, but not until he gains about 6 yards. Finally stopped by Shane Ray, assisted by Curtis Freeman of Erwin. Bring up a 3rd and about 3. Another 3rd down possession play for the Patriots.
Another big play for Homewood. Another big play, equally big for Erwin. Try and stop Homewood. The first possession in the second half. Very key play for Erwin if they have any hope of getting back in the game. Again, Homewood very successful tonight with their conversion.
Homewood with only 1 first down so far this half. Flags will fly. It appears the penalty will be offside against the Eagles. At least that's the indication of the Homewood team. The ref does indicate offside against the Eagles. That's the first down.
West Steed that time using a changeup in the cadence and drawing Erwin offsides for an easy first down.
That a critical first down too. Gives us a little bit more working room, keeps the drive alive. The Patriots now with the ball at their own 48. The clock moving with only 1:49 in the 3rd quarter. Here's Steed. He looks to pass. He'll throw quickly to Brian Greer, but it's a little high, and it's in and out of Brian's hands down about the 46-yard line. As long as we're passing out kudos, Fred, we better not forget the high school volleyball team. That's the girls volleyball team, has won 5 straight. Their record now 10-3, with losses coming early, and by the way, losses to 6A teams at Homewood, a 5A school. So congratulations to the girls volleyball team also at Homewood High School. 2nd and 10 now after the incomplete pass. It'll give to Robert, but Robert will be met at the line of scrimmage and thrown for maybe a loss of a yard. Brian Burns for Erwin, their number 80, is playing a rough and tumble game. He's playing an excellent game on defense. A loss of 2 takes the ball back to the 46-yard line. Good look at the Homewood cheerleading squad there, and it's appropriate to tell you who they are. Head cheerleader this year is Jenny Crumpton, but others are Melissa Boren and Keisha Cole, Allison Grizzle, Jennifer Harris, Julie Hembry, Casey Kirby, Amanda Cook. We'll tell you more about them in just a minute after this play from scrimmage. Steed on 3rd and 11, looks to pass, pressured, he'll be sacked. Big Erwin rush. A big Erwin rush by Scott Davis, their number 63, and the blitz was on. Davis was back there with a host of Erwin tacklers. This will bring up the first punting situation for the Patriots tonight. Just a reminder that Wes Steed is the punter. High pass from center, but Wes gets it underway. It's a low punt. It comes down at about the 35-yard line. It takes an Erwin bounce. It'll be down at about the 38. Patrick Renda was back to receive it, but he let it hit and it took a bounce the Erwin way. So the Eagles spread with really good field position now with only 4 seconds remaining in the third period. The clock will start and it'll run out. So as the quarter's end, we'll stop too for a message from one of our sponsors. That was a 24-yard punt for Homewood. Erwin will be in business now from their own 38. As we change the quarters, we'll tell you that the score is Homewood 28 and Erwin 7. And as we pause for the change of the quarters, we'll remind you that you're watching Homewood Patriot football.
You know when it's right, you know when you feel it, baby. You hold it, you hear it, you taste it, it's right. You got the right one, baby. It's irrepressibly lovable, unsurpassably callable, and intimately soulful. You got the right one, baby.
With 100% NutraSweet.
Well, we're back to live action here at Wilson Bowman Field, and we're pausing for the lowering of the colors. Give you just a feel for some of the stats. These are third quarter stats. Erwin with 180 yards rushing, and Homewood with really only 58 yards rushing. I'm sorry, passing. Erwin with 48 yards rushing, and Homewood now with 284. Davis 274 of the 284. Here's Keith Smith. Smith maybe gets a yard, maybe 2 around the left side of his line. Was stopped by Jonathan Hamaker. Really up to the defense now to stiffen both their necks a little bit.
That's right. And, Jonathan Hamaker, Michael Cogg, and the rest of the guys. Erwin continues to pound the middle, down 28-7. The last drive took 6.5 minutes off the clock in the third quarter, and yet they got no points to show for it.
Came away with no points. Renda is the ball carrier, and he's got his first down. Or it depends on the spot, I guess. Greer among those who managed to stop him shy of the 50-yard line. But a good strong run by Pat Renda, one of the most talented football players we've seen so far this year.
Renda takes those long strides, covering 2 to 3, 4 yards a stride. Looks deceiving because he really doesn't appear that fast, but he is covering quite a bit of ground as opposed to Keith Smith, who is shorter, quicker, and appears to be moving much faster. Again, up to the defense now to stop this Erwin offense.
At midfield, 1st and 10 for the Eagles. Renda comes in motion to the near side. Here's Worsham on the give to Horn. Met head on by Lee Thompson. Also, Eugene Sharp, right at the 49-yard line, maybe got a yard out of it. Well, he gets a good spot, maybe 2. Bring up second and about 9. Homewood band getting into the act now. Who's this crowd? And the defense on the field. Worship with the gift to Keith Smith. Smith around the left side, running hard, but again, maybe only 2 or 3 yards. Dusty Smith on the tackle that time. Aided ably by Alexander Adamson. Read something that we noted earlier when you were not with us last week was the first string offense and defense really hasn't been fully tested this year in a full 4-quarter game. They're going to get a shot at it tonight, it looks like.
Surprisingly, Erwin has not gone to the air in the second half. Form of offense where they had quite a bit of success the latter part of the second quarter, and they have yet to go to the air.
A critical third down for the Eagles. A long pass. Oh, tip. How do you describe that while it's happening? Tipped by Elvin Skipper, almost then back into the hands of the intended receiver, Roderick Rutledge, the tall sophomore, the 6'6 sophomore. He then dropped it right back into Elvin's hands, and the ball rolled away. The important thing about that play is it brings up fourth down for Erwin.
Elvin Skipper that time at 5'11", possibly 6 feet, trying to cover a 6'6" Rutledge. Again, Erwin going for it on fourth down.
Looks like a deep shotgun formation that they will. No, it's a quick kick. He sends it back, and Brian Greer will let it go and just hope that it rolls into the end zone, and it does. That stops the clock with 9:46 remaining in this football game. They'll bring the ball out to the 20-yard line, and the Patriots will take over from there. The defense gets a hand as they come off the field.
Homewood defense doing the job in the third quarter, now doing the job again in the fourth quarter on the Erwin offense. A little bit of success. Erwin throws one pass, a tip pass, and then I believe that last setup, that last formation was setting the stage for later in the game when they have to go for it on fourth down.
Here's Homewood now from its own 20. The give to Davis, back to Bread and Butter. Davis out across the middle, hard running out to the 40, the 45, 6-yard line. Finally stopped by Chris Prairie, the senior linebacker for the Eagles, but not before he moves the ball out and gives Homewood a lot of running room. Big hole open that time by Jonathan Hamaker. A great block by Jonathan. We'll get the calculator out in a minute and give you some Robert Davis stats. Suffice it to say, this is the first time this season, I believe, that he's played in the fourth quarter. I'm told now in excess of 300 yards for the night. Here's the give to Moulton. Eric Moulton, the young sophomore fullback. Moulton all by himself in the 20, the 10. He'll cross the goal line to put another 6 on the board for Homewood. One of the happiest guys on the field was Robert Davis. He just absolutely enjoyed that 64-yard touchdown run for Eric Moulton.
Outstanding run that time by Eric Moulton. Hopefully, we'll have that again for you to watch on the instant replay. We're working on that for you now. Outstanding blocking at the point of attack. Wes Steed leaving it with Eric doing the rest of it, slipping a couple of tackles, regaining his balance, and going the rest of the way.
Rebels to snap it. Greer to hold it. Steed to kick it. West puts it up. No block that time. The point after is good. 9:02 remaining in this football game. Homewood goes out to a 35-7 lead. Let's take a look now, if we can, at the instant replay of the Moulton run from scrimmage. Eric breaks the tackles at the line, and from there on, there's none stopping him. Valiant effort by Keith Smith, who caught up with him right at the goal line. What a great run by Eric Moulton, the sophomore fullback.
Eric Moulton, just a sophomore, as you said, starting this year, trading time early in the year, but just gets better and better this Robert Davis. Now his running is improving, and they're looking to Eric Moulton to be a leader in the future.
Gigantic holes opened in the Erwin line that time by Stanley Lee and Steve Carpenter, among others, to make possible that Eric Moulton run from scrimmage. When an off-tackle play like that gets a big hole, somebody's done a good job blocking. Davis now officially at 300 yards with 24 rushes. Boom! What a kick. Steve puts it into the end zone again. So no run back for the Eagles. The touchback will bring it to the 20-yard line, and they'll be in business with 9:02 remaining in this football game.
The Homewood defense now going onto the field. Coach Thorson, I'm sure, has them ready for just about anything Erwin can come up with. Erwin not going to a passing offense as yet, down 35-7. 9 minutes and 2 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. Now's as good a time as any for Coach Ferris and his offensive charges to go to some type of offense to try and gain some yardage and score some points.
Here's Worsham. Surely he'll go to the air. He does. Big rush in the grass of Jonathan Hamaker. Jonathan got him around the knees, and he was about to go down and finally did. Fred, how about this for a high school statistic? Homewood with 364 yards rushing, 58 yards passing, 412 yards of total offense. 8.5 minutes left to go in the football game.
And Erwin cooperating with 3 and punt on a couple of the last series right now.
Well, the pass was complete to Patrick Renda. Renda paid the price, but the pass was complete out to about the 25-yard line. Elvin Skipper with a big hit on Renda. And Erwin going with no huddle. Worsham will throw again quick to Renda. Renda out to the 30, maybe the 33-yard line. Skipper again on the stop, but also Henry Walburn in the action here.
Pat Worsham that time, they've changed their offense somewhat, going to a pass offense. Pat Worsham taking a 3-step drop, hitting Patrick Renda on a short pattern. Actually, Erwin using semi-pick plays with the slot back and the outside man cutting off each other on the patterns and setting up open patterns for the receivers.
The rush is on from Skipper, but Worsham throws into and out of the hands of Keith Smith. You know, they're working the clock exceedingly well now, Fred, and you wonder why they might not have done that at the start of the second half.
Running off 6.5 minutes at the start of the second half, when obviously they had a passing game in place to use, down 28-7, it makes you wonder. Down 35-7 now with less than 8 minutes to go in the ball game. Possibly too little, too late. But they did go 62 yards in one play at the end of the second quarter, so they can strike quickly.
Kip Cowan in the game now for the Patriots, the sophomore linebacker. Cowan seeing a lot of action this year, as are a lot of sophomores. Jonathan Hamaker tonight with 4 quarterback sacks. Let's only hope that he gets a few more. Big blitz that time. Keith Smith has the ball around left end, chased by Smith. Chased by Greer, and a good play by Brian Greer to trip him up at the Homewood 33-yard line. If Brian hadn't gotten a hand on his foot, I'm not sure what he would have gone all the way.
Roderick Rutledge that time, a tight end screen. Unfortunately, Homewood fell for it. Rolled to the right. Rutledge and the offensive lineman on the left. Well-executed play by Erwin that time.
Erwin does not roll over and play dead. Worsham will throw incomplete to stop the clock. We'll keep you up to date as best we can on the clock. It's 7 minutes, 18 seconds remaining in the game. Line of scrimmage now the 30-yard line following a 36-yard run. But 2nd and 10 as you get a look at a future Patriot there. Worsham will throw with all he's got, way overthrown. The intended intended receiver was number 85, Roderick Rutledge, the 6'6" sophomore. Elvin Skipper was right with him, step for step. I believe that's about all. When Worsham throws it back and cocks it like that, that's about all he's got, I believe.
Erwin trying to set up some isolation patterns or some matchups that work to their favor. Of course, at 6'6", Roderick Rutledge going to have a height advantage on any of the Homewood defensive backs. Elvin Skipper that time with him step for step, and only a perfectly thrown ball would have been caught.
Here's a look then at 3rd and 10 for the Erwin Eagles. Pat Worsham will definitely throw. He throws across the middle, and it's complete. Complete to Jason Horn. Complete to Patrick Renda. And Renda was finally stopped by Elvin Skipper, but not before. He takes it in for 21 yards down to the 9-yard line.
The bright spot for Erwin's offense tonight has been Patrick Renda and the surprisingly outstanding play of Pat Worsham on the passing game.
Homewood will take time out and bring the defense over to the side to listen to some words of wisdom from the defensive staff. We'll remind you that Homewood has another critical game coming up this Friday night, and if I'm correct, I believe we play at Vestavia Friday night. It's going to be awkward for those who try to make both the middle school and the high school game, because the middle school plays at 5:30, I believe, out at Hewitt-Trussville, and then the high school plays at 7:30 at Vestavia. But that Vestavia game is going to be a big, big game, because Vestavia has one fantastic quarterback this year. They are a strong team, and so it'll be 2 tests against Homewood 2 weeks in a row.
What many are calling a major game in high school football this Friday night. Robert Davis, obviously a major college recruit, talent coming your way. Paul Hitt, quarterback for Vestavia. Coach Buddy Anderson has another outstanding team picking up where they left off last year, and they will be in action this Friday night.
Well, Vestavia played Pelham last Friday night. The week before that, the quarterback Paul Hitt had 3 touchdowns, 2 passing and 1 running. A big test for Homewood, but right now it's the Erwin Eagles. That pass is incomplete. The sideline thought that he had it. We heard a big roar from the Erwin stands, but Alexander Adamson defending on the play. And the pass is incomplete.
Again, Erwin going for the matchup. 6'6", Roger Rutledge going against Alexander Adamson in the corner of the end zone. Adamson winning that battle.
Pat Worsham tonight, 11 completions after 19 attempts for in excess of 250 yards. Well, the intended receiver fell that time, and we're going to get an interference call, I believe, right at the goal line. We're inside the 5. The clock is stopped while they sort it out with 6:51 remaining. We're in the middle of a battle of the bands here at Wilson Bowman Field in Erwin. Glad you're with us, and hope you'll make plans to be with us every week on this rebroadcast of the Homewood Patriot football season. The ball now will be on the 3-yard line after 1/2 the distance to the goal penalty. And they have a 1st and goal from the 3. Big test for the defense. Here's the give to Jason Horn. Horn met head on by Brian Greer, but he crosses the plane of the goal line. Brian had a good arm on him, but he crosses the plane. And so for Erwin, another 6 points go up on the board. A good drive for the Eagles. Unfortunately, it may have consumed a little too much clock. Here's the extra point attempt. The holder is Pat Worsham. The kicker is Dale Poser. Low snap from center. Blocked by the Patriots. Looks like Skipper got a hand on it. Elvin got his hand on it, and we paid him back for blocking one of ours earlier in the evening. That low snap from center was tough to handle, and it took a while to get on the ground there.
Erwin that time moving down the field using a combination of passes, effective runs, the catches, opportunity to score 6 points, making it 35-13.
Well, there's some debate up here about who it was that blocked that. On one side, I'm hearing 33. On the other side, I'm hearing 24. So let's give credit to Alexander Adams, and that's the word from Danny Callies down on the sideline. And Zan got his hand on it. Don't want to slight anybody. Want to give credit where credit's due. Time is out on the field. We're in the fourth quarter of play in Erwin. 6:45 remaining in the football game. 35-13. Homewood over Erwin is the score. Could we see another onside kick? My take would be that we might. Last time they spread out. This time the ball falls off the kicking team. Homewood drops Robert Davis back deep. Wes Steed is back as a receiver this time, and that's interesting, isn't it? But it's a full kick, and it'll go deep and out of bounds. So we'll bring that one back and kick it again.
Interesting setup again by Erwin, again choosing to use that huddle situation at the tee. Again, Homewood not really sure whether they're going to kick it or try the onside as they did before.
The Erwin drive, Fred, covered 80 yards, another long drive. This one coming away with points, though. 8 plays, 2 minutes and 20 seconds off the clock, but they do come away with another 6. Big huddle by the officials down at the 35-yard line. Appears that there may have been 2 flags on the play. One flag thrown at the point where the ball went out of bounds on the kickoff. Another flag thrown at the middle of the field, and the official signals now illegal procedure. And a dead ball foul, personal foul against Homewood. So 2 penalties. Both teams will be penalized.
Now here's the situation. If you're Coach Ferris, you're kicking from the 50, you could possibly put it in the end zone with no run back, or down 35-13 might be an opportune moment to try the onside kick. Down 35-13, you need to make something happen and give your team some type of lift. Even if it's unsuccessful, you have Homewood at around their own 40-yard line.
Well, after a 5-yard penalty against Erwin and a 15-yard penalty against Homewood, we'll kick it from the 50. Erwin will, that is, and you can expect an onside kick from the Eagles. Ryan Greer, normally back deep, is on the front line. Alexander Adamson on the front line. Robert Davis and Wes Steed are deep as receivers. The guys who can handle the ball are up close. There's the kick. We'll see if it goes 10 yards. I believe it. Jonathan Hammaker came up with the ball, and that's the longest run he's made. Good job, Jonathan. I believe that the ball touched an Erwin player before it went 10 yards anyway.
Good play by Jonathan Hammaker that time, picking up the ball and just touched the Erwin player and advancing it downfield, as you see on the replay there. Jonathan making like Robert Davis, picking up yardage.
He's got a great move or two. Good job by Jonathan Hammaker, picking up the ball and running with it. Homewood now with excellent field position into Erwin territory at their 35. 6:25 now remaining in the fourth quarter. Homewood way out front, 35-13. The Patriots on first down. The give is to Moulton. Moulton maybe for a yard, but running a tough defense in the middle of that Erwin line. Interesting note here, Fred, that Hammaker has definitely gained more yards than any other tackle tonight. Oh, I don't know. What would we do without our guys up here in the booth? We appreciate the help of Mike Whitten and Larry Wygand and Danny Callies, who not only keep us straight, but make it entertaining as well. Here's second and about 8. Robert Davis right up the middle. Plenty of room for the first down and more as Davis takes it down inside the 20 to about the 18.
Robert Davis that time, not to be confused with Jonathan Hamaker, picking up good yardage, and it looks as though that might be it for Robert Davis.
Well, time is out on the field, and Robert Davis gets a hand from the Homewood sideline as he comes out, and it may be that we won't see him again tonight. He finishes the night, folks, with 25 rushes for 315 yards. 25 rushes for 315 yards for Robert Davis. Somebody do a little long division and figure out what his average is. 25 into 315. We've got a mathematician on our staff up here. We'll get that for you in just a moment. Robert had a fine night.
One of Coach Ferris's greatest fears has come to pass. Robert Davis had his usual outstanding night, reeling off an 89-yard run, a 53, and numerous runs where he gained extra yardage after being hit by a host of Erwin tacklers. You can't sell the Erwin defense short. They've tried to follow Coach Ferris's philosophy of game tackling. Tonight, it was just to no avail. Robert Davis continuing to gain yardage. 315 yards tonight.
Steed is still the quarterback. He fakes and rolls out. He'll try to keep it around the left end, but he'll go down at about the 16-yard line. The tackle by Patrick Renda. Robert Davis tonight, with his 315 yards, had 12.6 yards per carry as an average, and that's a pretty healthy statistic. 12.6.
Important also, Davis came out of the game uninjured and will sit the last 4 minutes and 52 seconds. This Homewood team needs him next week when they go up against Vestavia.
A new backfield for you to look at now. Darian Finley is number 31. The fullback, Tamer Savory, number 21, is the tailback. Wes Steed, the senior quarterback, still in the game. Here's the give to Savory. He meets up with number 80, Brian Burns, right at the line of scrimmage. Mr. Burns has had a wonderful game tonight. Also might mention that into the game for Homewood are John Whitten, the sophomore, 255-pound offensive tackle, and Kip Cowan, the 190-pound sophomore. We'll try to keep you posted on others who are also in the game tonight as Coach Gann begins to run in a few sophomores. The clock now moving, 4:01 remaining in this game from Erwin. Little surprise, Fred, that Wes Steed is still in the game.
Just a little bit.
Here's Elvin Skipper in motion to the right. But Steed will give to Darian Finley, the first man through. Finley finds the going tough, maybe gets a half a yard. The ball down now at about the 12-yard line.
In Homewood right now going with two tight ends. Wes Steed still at the controls. Really not that big a danger unless someone were to fall on him. He's simply handing the ball off. Tamer Savory, Darian Finley. Coach Gann running the clock now with that double tight end set. And really no desire to run up the score anymore, 35-13. As you can tell by the Star Spangled girls there.
The members of the color guard and the band are all out here, and they're an important part of the spirit effort that keeps the team fired up. Looks like we may have a timeout here. I'm not sure who that's on, but I don't think it's an official timeout. I guess it could be Erwin. Seems like a little Erwin to start spending timeouts, but we do have timeout. We'll encourage you once again to join us at Vestavia this coming Friday night for the game against the Vestavia. What are they, the Rebels? Vestavia Rebels.
That's right, Vestavia.
And that'll be a tough one.
Vestavia, the second away game this season for the Patriots. A good tune-up tonight with Erwin. Erwin, an outstanding defensive team, playing hard all night long. Homewood shutting down the offense in the first half, save one pass play. A good tune-up for Coach Thorson, Coach Gann, Bob Newton's offense as they get ready to take on the Rebels next week in Vestavia.
Well, they get ready to start it up again. Just under 3.5 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Good looks at the Homewood faithful who made the drive out to center point tonight to Erwin. I guess Erwin is in the city of Birmingham, right? No, Jefferson County. Here's a field goal attempt. West Steed will try a 28-yarder, plenty of distance, and it's oh so good. Rear the holder and Regal's the snapper. So you can put another 6 on the board for Homewood. I'm sorry, you can put another 3 on the board for Homewood, and that makes the score Homewood 38 and Erwin 13. I just want to know if Robert Davis has a younger brother. Are there any more? It's been a real pleasure, and I guess I could say it's been a privilege for me to watch this young man grow over the years, and he's just having such a great senior year. It's super, and if you ask him, he'll tell you it's because of the team that supports him. That's the kind of guy he is.
A good example of the way Robert Davis, the way he feels about his teammates. When Eric Moulton scored on the long run, one of the first players to congratulate him, and obviously one of the most excited about it was Robert Davis.
West Steed will kick it again. That leg is still not tired. As West sends it deep into the end zone. Yet another kickoff for the fine senior quarterback and specialty kicker West Steed. So Erwin will bring it out to the 20, and they'll start it from there. West is going to be tired tonight. He's played the full game. Had quite a bit of duty. We're going to stop for just a minute and take a little brief change of tapes. We'll be back in just a second. You stick with us. Back to live action here as Pat Worsham takes it to the air. The receiver is Alan Seifert, junior wide receiver for Erwin. Stopped by Elvin Skipper and Hen Wahlberg. Michael Andrzejewski's in the defensive secondary now. Homewood still with most of its first stringers in. Worsham will throw again, this time to Renda. Renda takes it in and out of bounds after a first down at about the 37-yard line. Henry Wahlberg defending. They'll stop the clock with 2:49 remaining as we move the chains. 2 pass plays in a row of 9 and 8 yards consecutively, bringing Erwin up to their own 37. Here's Pat Worsham now with 1st and 10 from his own 37. Into the hands of Keith Smith. Smith out to about the 43, maybe even the 44-yard line.
Erwin going without a huddle now. Calling the plays at the line of scrimmage, swapping sides with the strength of the formation. So you see Broderick Rutledge going to the left, wide receivers Pat Renda coming this way to the lower part of your screen.
Here's Worsham to throw again, pressured. He'll be sacked by Shane Davis. Shane got him one tonight. Michael Coggin, I believe, also in the backfield, assisting with the pressure.
Shane Davis that time taking on Jason Horn, running back, trying to block him. No contest. Shane Davis simply throwing the blocker aside and sacking Pat Worsham.
Well, Erwin takes another timeout, and it's just interesting to look. There's still a lot of folks left on the Homewood side of the field, but the Erwin stands are empty. Good look at Carson Thompson's hat. I like the feathers on the back of that hat. He's, is that Richard Petty or is that Carson? I think that's Carson. Lee Thompson's dad is Carson and Martha Thompson. Fine folks. Glad to see him out in Erwin tonight. Good shot of more of the members of the Color Guard and the Star Spangled Girls and the marching band. I'm sorry you missed their halftime performance. It was excellent as always. My favorite song, the theme from The Rocketeer. There's Jim Atkinson. Sergeant Jim Atkinson is assigned for the Homewood Police Department, assigned to Homewood High School, and works closely with all the kids. He's a favorite. Back to live action. Here's Pat Worsham. Looks to throw. Pumps once. Oh, almost intercepted by Henry Walker. Henry got upset about that. That'll bring up 4th down for the Eagles with 2:01 remaining in the football game. See if they won't go for it this time. Homewood's defense with 5 sacks of the Erwin quarterback Worsham tonight.
Pat Worsham, fairly strong arm, not very mobile though. Erwin, they've been running him on the rollout patterns to try and get him away from the pressure, but he's not the most mobile quarterback.
Here's the 4th and 10. Worsham will obviously throw again. He'll be sacked again. Michael Coggin and Shane Davis on a big sack, and we've got it on instant replay if you want to see it. Watch it with us. Pressure. Michael brings him down. Shane right back there with him. Excellent sack. Pressure coming also from Dusty Smith on the side. Noted Jonathan Hamaker coming out of the game. It looks like that may be the last play for Jonathan. What a fine game he's had. Into the game for Homewood now, Adam Reeves. Also E.J. Steele. Steele is a wide receiver. He's split to the left. Here's Wes Steed still in the game on a pitch to Tamer Sabry, but Tamer will go down shy of the 30 after a loss of about 3. Again, surprisingly, Steed still in the ball game. Clock now running with 1:15, 14, 13. We're winding down at Erwin. Kevin Harris is in the ball game now for Homewood, and also Scott Hazelden. Here's the give to Darian Finley. Finley gets some of the lost yardage back and makes a few more. Gain of about 5.
We have an injured Eagle on the field.
Well, you hate to see a guy get hurt with so little time left in a football game. 41 seconds remaining and a lopsided score like 38-13. Just kills you to see a guy get hurt.
The last few plays of the game sometimes are the most dangerous because you have some guys going flat out, giving 100%, still playing full speed. Some guys have already written the game off or are already in their mind back on the bus. And unless you're aware of what's going on around you, sometimes injuries happen at the latter part of the game, which, as you said, Barry, most unfortunate.
Good shot of Cindy Wade. Cindy is the director and choreographer for the Star Spangled Girls. And we're glad to see her tonight. The injured player, it's hard to see the number. Apparently it is not a knee or leg injury, though, because we see him moving both his knees and his legs. Looks like he's going to be all right. Is that 80? 60. Curtis Freeman. Freeman's a senior nose guard for the Eagles, and he's played a good game tonight. We've seen him in a lot of action. He's around the ball. They've just had a breath knocked out of it.
I believe the pile fell on top of Freeman. This Erwin defense giving them credit. They've been out there most of the night, hanging in there tough, and until their offense got going in the second half, it was pretty much the defense against the world. Robert Davis having his usual good game. Eric Bolton chipping in. Wes Steed throwing some timely passes.
Yeah, really good job again tonight of mixing it up. Listen to this, Fred. Homewood tonight with 17 first downs. Erwin with 13 first downs. Erwin, Pat Worsham, the quarterback, has thrown the ball 24 times, completed 14 for 279 yards. Pretty strong night passing for Erwin, even though they're coming out on the short end of the stick. They've rushed the ball 30 times for only 48 yards, and that perhaps is the story of the game. They punted 4 times for 40, penalized 3 times for 20. For Homewood, Robert Davis, again, the story of the game with 25 rushing attempts and 315 yards. Homewood, West Steed passed the ball 7 times and completed 5 for 58. As you pointed out, some of those coming at very timely moments. They rushed the ball 38 times for 390 yards, 1 punt of 24 yards, 3 penalties of 30, and again, 17 first downs for the Patriots. All in all, a very balanced offensive attack.